everyone, I am Fatima Lourdes Firulina Cabanyog, a student from Negros Oriental State University, Dumaguete City, Philippines. And I'm excited to share my reflections on our COIL project experience this semester with the amazing students from the University of Central Arkansas and Le Havre Normandy University. First of all, I just want to say that this collaboration was truly eye-opening and inspiring. So one of the most positive aspects of the project was the opportunity to connect with students from different parts of the world. Despite being miles apart, we were able to share ideas, learn from each other, and build friendships that I never expected to form in just a few weeks. It was also a great experience to explore cultural differences and similarities, not just in how we communicate, but also in how we see education, social issues, and the world in general. I was really fascinated by how open and respectful everyone was. So it reminded me that diversity is a strength, especially when we were working on a shared goal. So as an education student, I also gained valuable insights into how collaborative global learning can influence teaching approaches. So one thing that really stood out to me was when we exchanged lesson plans. I found it very interesting how their format was different from what we usually follow in my country. Yet it was also very comprehensive and detailed, just like ours. So that kind of sharing broadened my understanding of curriculum development and planning across different contexts. Another thing that I really appreciated was how we practice collaboration using digital tools. So through platforms like Zoom, Padlet, Canva, Google Docs, Gmail, Google Meet, we managed to brainstorm ideas, share resources, and even create a project together. So it made me realize how important digital literacy is in today's world, especially when working in an international setting. But of course, just like any meaningful project, there were also challenges along the way that we faced together. So one of the biggest challenges we faced was the time difference. Since we were in different time zones, scheduling meetings and deadlines required extra coordination and understanding. So sometimes someone had to stay up late or wake up early just to make it work and make it through the Google Meet. And another challenge was the language barrier and communication style. Although we all spoke English, we came from different backgrounds and accents, which sometimes made it difficult to fully express our thoughts or understand each other quickly. But honestly, that was also part of the learning. We learned to listen more patiently and communicate more clearly with each other. And lastly, I think a challenge for many of us was balancing this project with other academic responsibilities. So it took effort and time management, but I believe that the lessons we gained were truly worth it. To sum it all up, being part of the COIL project has been a meaningful part of my semester. It taught me how to work across culture, adapt to new situations, and see the world through different lenses. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and I hope that there will be more collaborations like this in the future. So I just want to say thank you to all our professors, mentors, and fellow students from UCA, Le Havre, and NORSU for making this experience so enriching. Let's continue to stay globally connected. Bye!
Hello, my name is Hannah Busby. I am from the United States and I participated in the COIL experience. So one of the most meaningful parts of COIL for me was learning about the Philippines through my partner. It was really interesting to hear about how education is viewed and how it's structured in their country. And at the same time, I enjoyed being able to share what it's like here in the US and getting to see the differences. And one way that we did that was we shared math lesson plans with each other. And so I shared mine with my partner and they were able to give me some really good feedback, and then they shared theirs with me as well, and I was able to give them feedback and just look at the different structures, and I think that that was really interesting. My partner offered a bunch of unique insights that I hadn't considered before, and I think that it definitely improved my lesson plan going back and using that feedback. to make it better. And so collaborating with others on like this level reminded me of how much we're going to need to use that in our careers in education. And so I think that that was a really good opportunity too, to just practice with collaboration and communication with people, and having to work through the different time zones because not everyone's going to be on the same schedule. So I think that this experience was really meaningful. I think that it really prepared me for a future career in education, and I had a great experience with it. I learned a bunch from it.
Hello, my name is Kaylee and I worked with Fatima in our COIL group, and I just really wanted, my biggest takeaway of the whole semester was how each country handles issues differently. And so our issue that we were talking about was overproduction and overconsumption, and I would have assumed that we would have had similar ways of tackling the problem. But what I had no idea prior to meeting with the group was that we suffered these problems in different ways. And it makes sense, but prior to meeting with our COIL groups, I would have never imagined that we would have to tackle these issues with how they pertained to our country. And so America tackled ours in a certain way, and then the Philippines tackled theirs in a certain way, and it all went back to diets and how much of what we produce for what we're eating. And so the United States produced so much meat, and how can we produce it in a way that's more sustainable for our country? And the Philippines produced rice, and how can they produce it in a way that's beneficial to their country? And so I really loved learning how issues are handled in different ways per country, and that was my biggest takeaway, and that was the thing that I thought was most interesting, and I loved working with Fatima on this.